Welcome to episode 41 of my Stationeers Mars playthrough. So, last time we made quite a lot of small improvements around the base. It's looking much nicer, and it's also better ventilated, and we sorted out various other gas capture. So you can see the pressure in the base is now up to 80 kPa, which is a good start. And I am going to start thinking about another large project, which is the rocket, the mining rocket, not the rocket for flying to other planets. So let's go out and just figure out how far away we are from being able to do that. I think that's a smart place to begin. The reason I want to do this is it really is the ultimate way just to get large quantities of ice. I'm pretty sure that the rocket counts as electronics for reasons that I don't really understand. So you can see there's quite a lot of different components needed for a rocket. We don't need all of them on every rocket. What we will want is one of the mining modules, obviously, otherwise there's no point in sending it. We need a coupling module that then connects that to a silo module so that it's actually got some storage to bring stuff back. We then need a command and an engine and a fuel tank, and I think we need the automation module as well, so quite a few pieces that need to be built there. We're obviously going to start from the engine, which is obviously going to be the bottom of the rocket. So you can see for this we're going to need Stellite, we're going to need steel, we're going to need quite a lot of alloys, even just to make the base piece, and these will need stuff welding on. So we haven't got anything like that amount at the moment, but the good news is what we have got is absolutely loads of food to sell. So I'm going to scroll through all of these and see whether I can find what we have got in terms of Stellite, which I think is a very tiny amount. Whilst this is busily finding us a trader. No, no good. There really is a lot of soup in here. Oh, come on. Right, there we go, Stellite. Okay, so we've got 1 G in there. Okay, well we may as well grab what we have got because we're going to need it. There was some electrum there, we'll take that as well. I'll leave the other one in there for now in case we need it somewhere else. I'll take that Invar, the Incanal, Astroloy. Right, let's put some of these in. See, the advanced alloys are sort of hexagonal in shape, but they blow away just as well in the storms as the normal alloys. There we go. Right, let's chuck that in there. What else have we got? We've actually got a little bit of waspaloy there. Okay, so let's put these in and see how that looks. I think we're going to be very short of Stellite. That's another junk signal. Don't know where all the traders have gone, they're all hiding. Obviously heard that I've got lots to sell and they can't afford to visit. Alright. Chem Lab is not really the one I want, but at least we can sell some stuff and get some money. So we'll do that. Right, okay, so how's this looking? So just to get an idea of how far away we are, we still need a lot more Stellite, and obviously we need more steel, although we can make steel. I mean, we could try and make Stellite as well. We have got the advanced furnace. Right, let's okay, so still some Waspaloy in there as well. Right, let's start off by selling these. If nothing else, it thins the machine out a bit. Right, there really is a lot of... Okay, I don't think there's much point in buying any of his other stuff. I think it's just a question of get some cash out of him. And that is as much as he can afford. So on that note, you may leave, sir. Right, we'll take the Constantan anyway. And the Waspaloy. Right. So we've got... Okay. Right, so this machine has now got quite a lot of material in it. What do we need to do to make Stellite? Let's have a little look and see how bad it looks. Silver, silicon, cobalt, so we have the raw materials. However, we need to get... Actually, okay, I'm prepared to try that without the help of any automation. So it's 1 silver, 2 silicon, 1 cobalt. Assuming I've got any silver. Oh, yeah, there we go. Come on. Yeah, okay. Well, we may as well make a double batch. And that can go in here. Right, so the question is, have we got 100G of cobalt? And the answer is no. Yes, we have actually. We have. Okay, that is good. But I'm going to have to dump something in here to make space for it. There we go. Okay, let's go try and make a ton of Stellite. This will probably go horribly wrong, but clearly going to need it. Nice dung ball there. Right, so we're going to need to get this quite a bit hotter. I'm going to chuck this in and start it processing. No, I'm not, because it's actually very cold in there. Right, output. Cycle that out.
Filter low.
There's nothing left that will actually combust anyway. No. Oh, it always takes so long when we're waiting for that. Right, in the meantime, let's that is processing very slowly. Oh, we'll put some floor grating down, shall we, while we're waiting? Just put it in there. There we go. Right, how are we looking? Oh, nearly. Come on. Oh. Right, okay, that is now at 0. Let's just shut that off. Let's get some fuel in. Okay. So what did we need? We didn't need it that hot or that high pressure, did we? It needs to be hot, but not too high pressure. Okay. I suspect we may have to run this a couple of times to get this to melt and then get the okay, that's a start. I think what will happen is we'll melt it this time, but the temperature will not be high enough. It's only just high enough now, and I suspect it will not be high enough to sustain that. I put the other. Okay, get in there. Maybe. No, I think we're going to find we'll go over pressure and under temperature on this first one, but this should be enough to melt all the ingredients anyway. And then if we do it again. So it's too high pressure and it's too cool, which is what I suspected would probably happen. So let's reduce the pressure. I don't think we're going to get the temperature back up. Sometimes you can get a little temperature spike as you reduce the pressure, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to help if I let more fuel in at this point. It's just going to give us pressure without heat. But we'll try it once we get that down towards the bottom end. Right, hang on then, let's try this and see whether we can. Oh, it's going up, but the pressure's going up faster than the temperature, isn't it? No, that is not happening. Oh, having said that, it just might if I can. No, it's not quite hit the right temperature. Okay, this is why we use logic to do this, really, but that's okay. That's okay. That initial setting would have hit the right conditions to make stellite if it had melted all the materials fast enough, so I think we'll be fine. I mean, I dread to think what I've just done to the average of our hot gas system, but it's not too bad. It's got capacity in there, it can take it. Right. Let's just empty it now. So it is very fiddly to do this by hand, and there are calculations. Unfortunately, the changes in combustion appear to have broken those calculations, so I haven't yet quite figured out what the new formula needs to look like. I did at one point have a nice IC that would calculate what initial pressure you needed to feed in to get the desired target, but that is now coming out wrong, and it tends to overpressure quite substantially. which is obviously very dangerous, because if you're aiming at say 20 and it hits 50 and the furnace blows up, you definitely have a problem. And if you were aiming at 40, then the furnace is going to blow up real quick. So until I've figured the bugs out in that, I'm not going to attempt to use it. I'm going to try and actually just do this manually. As I say, I think it's just a question of recalculating the formula, but I think better safe than sorry at the moment. Right, okay, so that is now down at 0. So now let's let some in. Okay, that's about where we lit it the last time. Probably should have made more of a note of it, but I reckon probably we might just get some Stellite out of this. Come on, a little bit hotter, a little bit hotter. Boom. There it goes. Okay. Now that is roughly holding. As long as the pressure's not going up, I'm going to leave that to burn. It's just creeping up a little bit. Probably best not to leave that unattended then. Right, where's that sitting there? It's about constant. Okay, that's useful. We've got a hot furnace there. Right, in the meantime, look at that 100G of Stellite. So that's that problem solved. What else do we need? I mean, I say solved, it's not solved, because barring the steel, you can see that's just for the engine, right? So, for example, the command module. Do we need the command module? I don't know if we do need the command module. I think actually what we need is the automated rocket automation module. So that also needs quite a bit of Stellite. And let's look at, say, ice mining. That needs Astroloy. Okay, what does it take to make Astroloy? Okay, so that needs to be somewhat higher pressure, although it's got a lower temperature requirement. 1 copper, 2 steel, 1 cobalt. Okay, so we're going to need a bunch more steel anyway before we're going anywhere. So we might have got, if we've got some in here. No, right, we need more steel. Right, we have got electrum and invar. That's useful to know. Okay, we're going to need more steel, and we're going to need more solder. Solder's hopefully relatively easy to make. Have we run out of lead? We may have done. We didn't have very much of it. I'm going to have to go look, aren't I? Yeah. When they got there, the cupboard was bare. Wow, we have got a lot of silver now though. Right, okay, so we're going to need lead. We're also almost out of silicon after that. Right, okay. And in fact, we're also going to need more coal as well. So let's park that for now. Right, in the morning we'll come back and we'll do some mining, I think. Right, in the meantime, right, I will take that Astroloy. I'll take the Astroloy as well. We actually did quite well, didn't we, for some of these. Right. Yeah, so that's not even going to be enough, is it? No, that's half the Astroloy we need. See if we can. That's a junk signal. What else have we got in here? Is it just soup now? May as well get all of these out. It means we can't accidentally sell them. Oops. Ah, which way was it? Right, I'm going to go back one and then, in fact, if I go there and then vend, right, I'm going to put all of this into this for now, because I think we're going to need a lot of it anyway, so we may as well chuck it all in there if we need to split any off. The only exception is I'm going to put some electrum into the pipe bender, because we may well need some in there. Right, okay, that can go in there. 23 coal. I'm wondering if we can make anything useful out of that. Not really. Put it in there for now. We'll put it towards our next bit of steel. Right. Okay. So the angle of the panels tells me it should be getting light soon, and we will go and do that bit of mining, but I might just see if we can find anything near the base. We're still running on the solid generator, so we'll quick look and see whether there's anything else we can do here. Right, of course it's night time, so all the water's in there. That's at 25 degrees, wow. It's taken quite a lot of heat out of the to heat that amount of water by that much. I'm surprised. Right, okay. I mean, the system's doing what it's supposed to. It's just slightly shocking that we can't cool the water fast enough. I dread to think what's going to happen when we have nuclear reactors in this game if we can't even manage to cool this fast enough. I might have to put some more radiators on here. But yeah, I can see that being a recipe for nuclear meltdown. There we go, we'll add a bit of extra length. There's no radiators on it, but it will still help. It's not cooling very fast, is it? When we've got more steel, that's another job. Right. I mean, we could do some quick and dirty cooling and actually just throw ice in there. That would be a possibility. It's extremely tempting, to the point that I'm going to do it. Perhaps we should use this as the melt room. That would have worked. Maybe. Well, we got 3 cycles out of the generator. I should just blast that out, shouldn't I? It's hotter than the stored. Right, okay, it is the morning. Let's get to it. So there's some lead. One thing I have done is I have had to deactivate the mining yield mod that I was using, which was enabling us to get stuff much faster, so I'm going to have to spend longer mining. If I had to turn it off, it was, you may have noticed in some of the videos there were null exception errors appearing on the screen, and since the last update it has started doing that. When I booted up the world to make this video, the whole screen was just covered in constant null exception errors, so I don't quite know what the issue is there, but clearly it's broken, so I have turned it off, which means I'm afraid you're going to have to spend longer watching me mine. But it is a more authentic Stationeers experience, to be fair. Why am I not just using my sensor goggles? Then I can see if there's anything left. I keep forgetting I've got those, right? And the answer is there is not. Okay, so what else do we want? We do want some coal. Right, there's PB, that's lead. Let's go. So you can see it takes materially longer on the default settings to mine a stack, which on one level is kind of okay, but on the other hand it's not the most engaging experience, spending a lot of time just drilling holes, and it's difficult to really automate. I still think what Stationeers needs is an ore distribution algorithm that puts larger, much larger veins, but much bigger gaps between them, so that actually what you can do is set up a static mine later in the game that just automatically drills this stuff out, but have the vein be much denser and much higher yield, so that it can run and slowly just keep producing from a given spot. And I think if you then had a big gap between, obviously you need to have, if you think about Mars where iron is very common, you might have some mechanism where iron spawns in small quantities literally everywhere, to help get started in early game, and there's clearly some balance issues around doing this, but I think if you did something like that and then actually had the other materials be things you had to go and find, as long as there was enough to kind of get you started, if you then had to go and find some, then I think that would be quite an engaging gameplay, and it would also give reason to move. Oh my goodness, look what I see. The mythical Nitrice. So I'm wondering whether those null exception errors are related to Nitrice, and the mod not supporting it. That might explain quite a lot. Well, there we are, that solves a whole bunch of problems. Let's go get. Not have known that was there if I hadn't had these goggles on, but I think that's probably what the issue is, because it seems to me quite suspicious that having turned the mod off, suddenly we've got Nitrice, which we have not had previously, and I suspect that maybe the null exception errors are that the mod doesn't know how to handle it, so it's causing it to not render in at all, not spawn in at all. And it's just causing an error, so that explains that. It just is a bit slower doing this, but I think it's worth it because we've got Nitrice now. It's actually pretty dense, different. There's some silicon in here as well, as you can see. Well, it's probably easier to see at this point if I flick those off. This is good, we've got a couple of stacks here already. Oh, this is not so good. Get that out of the way. Oops. Okay, the thing is, turning the glasses off, I actually don't know whether there's any left in the ground here now. There's some there at least. Try and get as much as I can. That's silicon. But there's some Nitrice behind it. We needed silicon anyway, so that's actually quite useful. let's oops, flip these back on. It's quite a big deposit actually. Right, and there's still more down there. See, as we're going deeper, it's bringing other things into range as well. There's copper underneath here as well. So once we actually get the mining rocket built, we won't need to do any mining, and we can just build things. Although to some extent, that is really the point at which you can kind of build anything in the game. So I'm starting to turn my thoughts, rather than just making this a never-ending series of long videos, to potentially trying some slightly different scenarios. I'll be interested in some feedback in the comments on what you guys think, but one I'm not sure, it's probably been done before by someone, but I thought might be quite interesting would be a Europa start, because it's quite challenging anyway, with an extra twist that removing the metals, so more like the real Europa, remove the metals, so it's only ices that spawn, and remove the atmosphere. Well, there's more nitrice down there. From the remove, or at least match the real European atmosphere, which is very tenuous amounts of oxygen, and in order to make it actually possible to do, add, where's the way out there is, I don't want to get stuck down here with, there we go, come out, and there we go, right, where's base, there it is. So in order to make it playable, actually then just to add ruined structures, which is something which used to be in the Lulan map. Anyone that's a new player will not recognise that. It's one that they depreciated, but it was a flat. Oh, that's lucky, we've got a storm coming in. Let's just feed that straight in there, shall we? So the idea being that if you want metals, you need to find the wreckage of previous bases and basically salvage it. I think that might be quite an interesting way to play. Slightly different focus, some interesting challenges. So that's something I'm thinking about doing as a bit of a kind of mix it up for the next go. Interested in some feedback on that. The other one that is always interesting is to try a very hot planet where the challenge is actually cooling things down. So Vulcan, or potentially even Venus, although Venus is extremely difficult. Right, so let's just check if these melt rooms are actually working. So there shouldn't be anything in this one, and there is not, so that is good. There should be nitrice in here in some quantities, which there is. And the temperature is going up, so it is melting it. Okay, good, right. And I don't want to just chuck that nitrice straight into the base here, because it does also contain nitrous oxide, which, oh, that's good news, isn't it? System failure and a storm.
System failure.
And what I've just realised, just to compound things, is I don't think I've fixed those solar panels, and I probably haven't got time to do it now.
Danger. System failure.
But we'll try it, because I think we will have a problem if we run out of. I don't understand why we've got system failure. Has it used all the coal? Yes, it has. Right, okay. Deal with that later, right. Let's get this making some tape. I'm just going to start that running, and then I'm going to scamper over here and just see how long we've got. Okay, less than 1 minute until it hits. We're not going to get most of this done. Oh, these are really damaged as well. Oh, it doesn't work if you release it. Okay, you've got to complete it or it doesn't count. I think we're going to lose some panels in this storm. I should have done that. I should just get on with the next one. Got that one to 47. Race against time now. Right, turn that off because we're going to lose all of those. I'll blow away otherwise. Do as much as I can. Okay, I think one thing I do need to do, I have actually got some IC code to warn me when these are damaged, and I just haven't installed it. I should do that. Here comes the storm. Oh. Can we get this done through the storm? Maybe. Actually, I should check the state and see which. Oh! That I did not need. That one is more damaged if I can get to it, but I'm not sure I can because of the winds. Unless I walk through here and jump and hope that the wind, there we go, pins me to the structure. I don't know how I'm getting back down, but maybe I'm just sitting it out. Now, did I manage to pick up one more? I thought I did. No, I didn't, did I? No, I didn't. Okay. That's all of it then. Right, well. Yeah, the jetpack can't actually. I am literally stuck here now until the storm finishes. I can't go up and I can't go down. Yeah. Well, the only thing is whether I can. Oh, maybe. Yes. Just needed to turn the power up a bit. Right. Okay. Oh. That's going some low. Right, whilst we're out here, you can see some nitrous oxide building up in these pipes. Okay, they're fine. Just don't want to drop anything out here, but actually the base is quite well lit and it's quite clear what's going on here now, so I think we'll risk it. It's obviously a lot easier when the base is well lit to move around despite the storm. I should melt that lead. I'm not going to risk that ejecting. Right, what we haven't done is anything about the So actually the batteries are not badly charged, but clearly below where it wants them to be. Vent that will create a bit of atmosphere so I can actually hear if this is going off properly, because this room was a hard vacuum. It's now very, very hot. I'm going to have to yeah, look how fast I'm going through my oxygen. I'm going to have to turn that back on anyway. Well, right, do we want to go back out into it? Not really, but we might need to. Is this running or is this off? No, this is off. Good. And that's the end of the storm. Perfect. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I wonder how many panels we've lost though. That was good, they at least got caught there. Just going to see how bad it is in. Wow, this is fast now. I've turned the jetpack up. Okay, that panel was destroyed, but that's on 10%, that's on 4%, and that's on 7%. Okay, we got lucky there. Actually, whilst we've got damaged panels, I think I might install that IC if we can make it, because it would be a good test. We just need, I think we've got a spare IC chip actually. Yes, we have. Go in there. This is slightly experimental code, because I'm not completely sure how this how it operates. So what I'm trying to do is to see whether or not the panels are receiving, what ratio they're receiving versus their theoretical maximum, which should tell us whether or not they're damaged, but I'm not sure whether it will, or whether the theoretical maximum goes down as they take damage. That's the bit I haven't tested. Right, that needs to go in there because we do need some solder. I've just realised that I didn't check that was empty before we started, so who knows what's in there. I might take the front panel off and just check. Okay, now that is actually fine. Yeah, it'd be nice if we go back on though. Thank you. Right, okay. That should be set to solder. There we go. Right, I'm not quite sure what it's doing. It's not emptying and it's not filling. I think probably needs a reset. Right, okay. Can we do an IC? Housing. No, we need solder and steel. Right, okay. Well, that answers that. Right. Let's go find some more traders. And more importantly, let's go find some more. So I'm going to just very quickly dump these in here. We obviously don't need to smelt the lead in order to use it. We can just use it directly, but I'm going to do that just to get it out of the way. Right. Oh, that's where the other cable went. I thought I did pick another one up. Okay, right, let's go find coal. We got distracted last time by the excitement of Nitrice. But this is a serious consideration now. Oh, there's absolutely huge amounts of nitrice now. That's obviously that must have been the issue. Right, coal here. So I think probably by the end of this episode, realistically, we're going to have got a lot of the requirements that we need for building the rocket, but I don't think we're going to get the rocket actually built, given that we're already at 3/4 of an hour. But nonetheless, oh, this is so much slower without the multi-stacks. Just got to a 50 stack. Trying not to mine too much of the other stuff. I'm going to have to take this iron out of the way to get to the coal behind it. I may as well try and get to at least a stack of it. You can see how long it takes, and this is why I turned on the yield mod, because I don't think this would have made very engaging video, just watching me drill this stuff out. But this is it is an issue, I think, with the way that the vanilla game is balanced. Does spend a lot of time just literally doing this, but without the benefit of the goggles to see where you're drilling. Right, so we've only got 1.5 stacks of coal out of all of that. It's coal, yep, right, okay, let's go. Right, so once we've got a bit more of this, firstly we're going to need to feed the generator, of course. Then secondly, we can make steel. In fact, probably steel should be a priority, because I do want to be able to get this rocket built, not least because then we could actually have it automatically do some mining for us, which seems like a good idea at this point. The other thing I haven't done is demonstrated any of the other mining platforms that are available. So there is a mining robot called Amy, which is okay, but tends to get stuck down holes. Its pathfinding is not great, and it can't get up steep slopes, so it tends to fall in craters, and you spend a lot of time trying to figure out where the hell it's got stuck. Or there is the either the vertical mining shaft or the horizontal one, the ogre, which digs a horizontal shaft, and they can be okay, but obviously they're just going to dig all the way down or in a straight line on a level, and just give you whatever happens to be underneath. So you need to be a bit careful about where you sight them. Obviously once you've got goggles, you do have a bit of an advantage, because you can pick a spot and have them mine, and they are kind of set up and forget, but in need to be a bit careful. You can end up with a lot of very deep holes around your base for not a lot of benefit, honestly. But there we go. Right, okay, that's a reasonable amount of coal. I might set one of those miners up anyway because they're fairly low initial investment, and we have got goggles. But for now, let's get these back and try and get some steel made. There we go. Little hop, skip and jump across the roof there. Okay, let's turn those off. I know we have a system failure. I am acutely aware that we have a system failure. Let's put that in there. Right, steel. Set that. Whoops. Set that to steel. And I'm going to make. Right, so I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so that's 2 and 2. 3 and 2, yeah, I need one more, don't I? Right, hang on, let's throw that in there. Let's go and put some in here. Right, so where's that temperature high coming from? Right, hang on, let's get. I need to throw one more of those in. Let's go and do that so it can at least be smelting while we're investigating. Oof.
Warning. Temperature.
Okay, so it's 35 in there. Let's seal that off. It's looking quite nice down here now, or starting to. I mean, we've still got some bare rock that needs some work, but you know, it's an architectural feature.
Warning. Temperature high.
Okay, so that is the greenhouse gas sensor that is generating that warning. And it is high, but it's not dangerous.
Alert. Warning. Temperature high.
Could probably do with a separate bank of these warning LEDs outside somewhere, actually. There's no reason why we couldn't do that. Just need to mirror the... we'll either connect it onto the purple network, which we can do, or mirror the...
Warning. Temperature high. Alert.
supervisor onto
Warning.
a network with a
Temperature
diagnostic.
high. Warning. Temperature high. Alert. Alert. Warning. Temperature high. Warning. Temperature high.
Frankly, at this point, Seeds, you're asking for it.
Warning. Temperature high. Warning. Temperature high. Alert.
Missed,
Alert.
never mind. Right, okay, let's not get too involved in there. That's
Warning. Temperature
doing its thing. Watch the water bottle get blown across the floor as I evacuate the airlock.
Warning. Temperature
Okay, that's fine. I'm not overly worried about that.
Temperature high.
Right, what I did want
Alert. Alert. Warning. Temperature
was some steel. Let's reset it.
Temperature high. Alert. Alert. Warning. Temperature.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get that built. And then we should be able to start on some rocket parts. I mean, I guess we've got some steel in here, but I don't know how much. Probably not a lot. 81. Well, okay. We're also going to need some steel for some more. Yeah, there's none in there. Some steel for some more radiators on that water cooler, because we've really got to get this temperature under control in the GFG room. However, first things first, we're going to need some frames.
Warning, temperature high. Alert, alert, warning, temperature
Right,
high.
that's still emptying.
Warning, temperature high. Warning, temperature
Power low. Hunger caution.
It's all going off now. Right, I'm just making some frames because we're going to actually want somewhere to set the rocket up, and I'm probably going to do that over here somewhere in this area because we've got relatively easy access to fuel. Fuel lines are there, and we can feed the resultant ores and ices into this network here, so that's, I think, probably a good spot for it. Maybe, yeah, somewhere around this area. Not actually sure how many we're going to need. I'll do 15. And I don't think I've got any sheets left. No, I haven't. Actually, so we'll put it over here. It's probably safe to put it a little bit of distance away from the main base anyway. We are going to be launching rockets. Not that actually anything happens in Stationeers with rockets sort of crashing or anything, but it just feels better. If this was your home, you wouldn't be launching rockets straight on the front porch, right? I mean, you'd at least put it a few feet away. That'll do. We don't need to double weld them. Right, have we got this steel? Yes, we have. Thank you very much. I'm going to chuck all that in there for now because we're going to need a ton of it. Right, so let's start with the rocket engine. Once we've built this IC holder. Right, we need more copper. Just go for it, it's not like we're short. Okay, the first piece of rocket. In the meantime, let's hook this up. So this needs to be on the same network that the solars are on, which is the grey network, and then we will need to mirror that. I guess that can go in there. I have no idea how well this will even work, but the temperature is still too high in there. I'm slightly concerned. I don't understand quite how it's got so hot. Let's see what we're... that really shouldn't be a problem. That's very hot. That's kind of warm, but I mean we might put some radiators on those tanks to help cool them faster, I think, as well. But Yeah, strange. I guess this has got at some point very hot, probably when I vented out of there. Okay. Right, one job at a time. Let's get this connected. Right, and screwdriver. Okay, so let's turn it on. And in fact, this doesn't, believe it or not, does not actually require any devices to be connected because it does a batch read of all solars on the network. However, at the moment that's reporting a 0, and I feel like that should be reporting a problem. So I think that this ratio, of course it's night time, it will be reporting 0. We'll see what happens when the sun comes up. In the meantime, let's. I'm going to need a logic I/O, and I'm going to need cable. What happened to my rocket parts? They should have been in there. They should have been the first thing to come out. That's what I expected to see. That's really strange. I thought maybe they'd come out and just gone flying, but looks like they never came out, which means it must have not finished printing them. No, we've still got the same amount of Stellite in there that we started with, so obviously it just didn't work. Right, you can see that even to build a fuel tank we're going to need more Invar and we're going to need more Astroloy. Invar we might just have in here, although I think it was Constantan. That was Invar. So obviously this is a major undertaking, as it should be, to be fair. Right, whilst that is hopefully going to actually print this time, I'm going to put a logic mirror in. Now we're going to need to get from the grey network to the purple, which, as we have previously identified, is actually quite a challenge, because we can't lay that room out the way we want. Right, where does this grey network go? It goes under the floor here. So I could bring it through under the floor there, potentially. See how that goes. Right, okay, so that brings it through here. I actually wonder whether we could put one onto that wall. Where does the purple come in? Up at the top? No, yes, along the ceiling here. Okay, so, well, let's try this. Oh no, of course we can't fit it on the back of there because there's already too much wired up. Right, okay. Can't put wires on two sides. Right, okay, how are we going to do this then? Somewhere in here, there is a way of doing it. I haven't quite got my head around it yet, but there is. Logic mirror. If I move that across here, that will work. Right, and then what I need to do is I need to get that and bring that in there. And bring that along the floor here. This is going to turn into a mess under the floor in this room, but never mind. Okay, that connects that. We may as well connect the power to that side as well. There we go. Right, and then I think if I snip that and then grab that and then rebuild that. There we go. Wasn't quite as bad as I expected. Okay, so now I forgot to name that IC. First things first, let's go and see what it's reporting. It's still reporting a 0, so I'm not sure it's actually working. But on the basis we're going to get it to work at some point, I'm going to call that solar alert. Solar alert. Solar alert. Okay, so that's at least connected and usable. We obviously just need to connect that up to the overall alert system. Right, let's go and see what's going on in here. This is worrying me that it's still complaining it's too hot in here.
Alert. Warning.
32, it is coming down. Okay, that's fine.
Warning. Temperature high. Alert. Alert. Warning. Temperature high. Warning.
Oof, done it again. I really need to stop doing that.
Alert. Warning. Temperature high. Warning. Temperature high. Alert. Alert. Warning. Temperature high.
Right, while we're in here we may as well go and connect this. What I should have done was actually to set up an LED upstairs first. Let's go do that quick. So what have we got as a spare? Those are all spares. Okay, I think we'll use that one there. We'll call that LED solar.
Temperature high.
And down here. Right, so the supervisor, does it have a spare slot? Yes it does, only one though. I'm going to need another supervisor soon. So we'll connect this to logic, mirror, solar alert. Okay, so that's on pin 5. So let's connect the last pin on here to the LED for solar. Whoops, went too far. LED solar. Turn that back on. Grab that. Update the code. So that one there becomes 0.6. Confirm that, export that. In we go. Power it up. Okay, there we go. And that's the solar IC at least connected up to the system. We can see that LED's black, so that indicates it has been connected correctly. You may have seen it on the way past, I didn't really stop for long, so...
Temperature high.
Right, more of that, get in there. On the other hand, the pressure's up at 97 kPa, so you know it's not all bad. That's why so much stuff's getting blown so far whenever we open this now, I think.
Warning. Temperature high. Warning. Temperature high. Alert. Alert. Warning.
Before we go,
Temperature high.
let's grab that.
Warning.
Make some more pumpkin soup. There we go. Right, I was lucky I actually picked up the one that was
Temperature high.
already. Right, okay, so temperatures. Yeah, it really is. It's still hot in here, isn't it?
Alert. Alert.
That suggests the gas that's coming in is quite hot.
Warning. Temperature high.
Okay.
Alert. Alert. Warning. Temperature high. Warning. Temperature high.
I'm going to give this a bit of extra gas just to help it to take care of the heat a bit more.
Waste tank critical.
It's not great, but hopefully that will help. Right. Okay, let's see whether we've got the first piece of rocket. We have. Okay, so let's see about assembling that over here somewhere. Right, so it looks like that needs to be welded before we can do anything. So I'm going to probably get this bit down, and then that will give us an idea of quite how much space we need. I think the main rocket build is definitely a job for another video because we're at over an hour already.
Power critical.
I'm working on the basis that the videos are slightly more digestible if I make 2 roughly 1 hour videos rather than 1 2-hour video, and that may be wrong. Feel free to tell me in the comments if you'd rather see less episodes and that they were longer each, but I am trying to keep it a little bit shorter because they are a bit ridiculously long. I am aware of that. Right, okay, let's put that down, let's get that in there. Okay, does that need fully welded frames then? I guess maybe it does. I assume that's the issue anyway. It's kind of a bit of a, whoops, bit of a random message when it says requires support. It's just I don't even know how big it is. I don't expect that's going to be enough, is it? No, it's not enough. We also need to get the orientation right. So, oh, do I not need? I've just realised what I've done. I actually think I need a launch pad first. That's what I've done wrong. I've missed the first component. Launch pad. There we go. Let's get that building. Start with the beginning. I'm getting ahead of myself. Building the rocket before I built the pad. Right, okay, let's do that.
Warning. Temperature high. Warning. Temperature high. Alert. Alert. Warning. Temperature high. Warning.
Alright, I'm surprised that temperature is not dropping faster, to be honest. come back to that, I think, but I wonder if there's any remaining ice in this vending machine. A little bit. I'll take that. It's a bit quick and dirty, but this alert's going to drive me mad otherwise. Hopefully that will help. Okay, that seems... Oh no, I thought that had shut it up. Right, we'll take that. That's all of it, I think, now. Yep.
Alert. Alert. Warning. Temperature high.
Oof.
Damage.
Okay, don't let go of the ice. Whilst it's decompressing, I'm not doing very well with these space suits, am I?
Temperature high. Alert. Alert. Warning. Temperature high. Warning. Temperature high.
Let's put it right there, come on.
Alert. Warning.
Come on. That's it, melted. Okay, well that got it down to 31. I'm interested to see what the temperature is in here. Oh, it's even hotter in here. Right, well we'll keep that closed then. And we'll keep this closed so it's just trying to bring this temperature down. It really should be possible. It's
Temperature high.
that hot
Alert.
gas that's coming in.
Warning. Temperature high. Warning. Temperature high. Alert.
I'm going to leave that tape in there actually, since I seem to be constantly damaging my suit in here.
Warning. Temperature high. Alert. Alert.
Let's go out.
Temperature high. Warning. Alert.
Probably time for a new suit, to be honest. It's got to be at least 2 episodes, maybe only 1 actually. I was just thinking it's a little while since I made a suit.
Alert. Warning. Temperature high. Warning. Temperature high. Alert. Alert. Warning. Temperature.
Filter low. Temperature critical. Pressure critical. Oxygen critical.
Right, chew that up. Right, okay, let's...
Power critical. Waste tank critical. Air tank critical. Filter critical.
There we go. Right, I don't know what's in here, but we may as well spin that up now. Not quite sure why that's still coming through as reagents. I should have spun it down to its base materials. And we'll find out what comes out the other end, I suppose. Right, there's our launch pad. Okay, let's go. That looks better, doesn't it? So where are we going to put that? We could actually mount it directly down. It does need power connections. Actually, it mounts quite nicely at this height. I think we might put it down here. Right, what does that need to build? I have no doubt it needs 1 million steel sheets. It doesn't tell me how many, does it? No. Better look it up then. "20 steel sheets and 8 electronic parts." So we're going to need a ton of both of those. Right, that needs iron. And And steel sheets, we'll just use all the steel because we're going to definitely need that many. Right, so we'll start that running as well. That's going to be enough to make 16 of them, I think. No, it's not, we haven't got enough gold in there. Let's get some more gold. I was too slow. And I'll take some more iron. Right, we will need to move more steel across here, I think, but nearly at the 20 anyway. I'm just going to let it run, but I'll eject the 20 so that we can get started. And similarly, this is probably, yeah. Okay. Right, there we go. That is now apparently constructed. So that's good. I should be able to put the engine on there now. Right, now the question is, which way do I want to configure this to connect? Probably that way. Seems to make most sense. Connect it directly into this. Right, okay, what does this need then? More steel sheets, I'm sure. In fact, I would guess it's probably more exactly the same. Right, still going, but not for very much longer. Oh, we need plastic sheets as well, okay. Personally, I've used a lot of plastic in an engine. I would have thought it would have melted, but you know, whatever. Okay, so let's go look up. That was not the way to do this, was it? Modular rocket engine. Okay, so we will need electronic parts as well. Okay, and whilst we're here, let's see what's required for a fuel tank, because we know we're going to need a fuel tank. That's steel sheets, electronic parts, and 4 tank kits. Right, okay. Stack that with them. Okay, let's see if we can at least get the tank going. No, we're short of Astroloy and copper, but that's a temporary problem. Right. Come on, let's get us a good trader. I want that mining one back again. We cleaned him out. It's frustrating because we've got huge quantities of saleable materials. If I could just find a trader. Right, while that's doing that, let's get over here and see if we can manage to at least complete the engine. Okay, so apparently the engine cone is what's made out of plastic. Interesting. And there we go. Right, one engine. So obviously what we're going to need to do is to connect all of these systems up once we've got a fuel tank and stuff. We're going to need to connect all of this to power and data and pipe in fuel and all the rest. But right, trader, that's what I was doing. Let's see whether this guy's got anything. He probably hasn't. I'll at least mark him as a trader. Come on. Thank you. Right, what have you got? No, nothing hugely useful, but at least we can sell some stuff. Okay, whoops, that was not what I meant to press. Right, okay, that's good. Don't think there's anything else there that we need. No, there's really not. Confirm that, and then you may depart, sir. Now I has got all your money. I have got 17,000 space euro dollars. I don't know which one that's attempted to connect to, but either way it doesn't seem to be working, so let's restart it. What's going on? Oh, it's the stupid pull that and start it again. All corp security. Yep, you can come in. Don't think we've got much use, but we can get some more cash out of you. Starting to become a busy spaceport once we've got rockets launching and landing as well. Right, okay, so let's start off by selling. Let's get rid of this, see if we can get rid of these pumpkin soups. In fact, all of that. Okay, nothing else I really want. Not really in the market for weaponry. So you can go. I've now got 21,000. If we find a mining corp, that would be amazing. I think that's the other Hall Corp security one. Hopefully it's not the same one, just turn around and come back again. Yep, right, okay. Okay, that is all of them. Alright, he can go. Go see if we can find another one. Right,
Alert. Warning. Temperature high.
I think this might not be a bad place to end this video, to be honest. We need a number of things, but we definitely need Astroloy, which we could make with steel, potentially. It's quite a challenging one to make, I think, if I recall. 30 to 40 MPa, so towards the upper end of the pressure, and it does require the steel. So I think we'll try and buy it. We've got absolutely stacks of cash. There's no point in making all this food and not using it for something. So we've used it to make money, which is a smart choice. Come on, we just now need a good trader. Hopefully we'll find one. I don't think Microwares is likely to have anything, but I'll let them come in and have a look anyway. I don't know whether the traders are regenerated each session, but if they are, then that's a doubly good reason to end now, because we're just not finding what we need yet. He's got nothing we won't buy. Another info stat. Right, Chem Lab is interesting, but they're not going to have anything we need. Well, do that, off you go. Hydraulic kit, likewise. I'll mark it as a trader so we can find it again, but and that's a junk one. Gas trade. When I needed gas, I couldn't get gas. Now I need alloys, and I can't get them. Right, I think we're now back to whole corp security. I think we can reasonably infer that that is done a complete loop now. Yeah, and that dish has actually stopped moving. Okay, so I think I'm going to end this video here. I'll go inside, just check the pressure, but that's an hour and a half, so it's a decent length, well, relatively for me. We'll see what the temperature's like in here, and then hopefully when we start the next session, it will have regenerated some traders. I hope that's how it works. If not, we'll just have to wait until we get one, or try and make Astroloy ourselves. So I may take some time just to see if I can perfect the code. Oh, look at that, nothing went flying.
Danger, danger, system failure.
Oh good, system failure as well. Okay, so the temperature in here is at least now down to 30, which is a start.
Danger, system failure. System failure.
I still clearly haven't got the whoops. Oh yeah, just turn it on, don't you? That helps. Still clearly have not got the solar working as it should be. Otherwise we should have been getting warnings about that. That needs a bit more research, I think. But this will be a solid fuel generator issue, I would have thought.
System failure. System
Yeah.
failure.
So we're out of coal again.
Danger, danger, system failure.
Although at the moment
System failure.
the batteries are reasonably charged.
Danger, system failure.
Okay, well I think on that happy note we'll grab that decayed food actually, we might as well get rid of that. We will end this video. Some things to do next time. We definitely need to get some Astroloy so that we can continue with the rocket.
Failure.
And
Danger. System
we'd probably have to go
failure.
mining again, sadly. So I may set up a vertical miner just
Danger.
in order to try to generate some coal, if I can find a large coal vein.
System failure.
Because this is obviously going to be an issue, otherwise
System
let's get rid of
failure.
these. Just make them into oil.
System failure. Danger. Danger. System failure.
Throw that in there. There we go. At least that can do something useful. Right, okay, so we'll end that here. We have now got the hab pressurized correctly, even if it's too hot. So we are making some progress. At last we have got some gas, which has been a bit of a mission for quite a few episodes. But that Nitrice has just taken us over the edge to a point that we've got what we need. So that's good. Obviously it is a little warm, but I think the gas mix in here should be relatively okay. There's a trace amount of pollutant that's seeped in from various places, I suspect, but that's looking pretty good generally. 60% nitrogen. I'd like it to be 70, but we're close. So, and the reason that's slightly off is, if you remember, I threw an oxide in here earlier on to try and bring the temperature down. The temperature's sort of bouncing around actually. If I shut this door, it might help, because it's hotter down there than up here. This cooler is not.
System failure.
I mean, it's kind of bringing it down, but very, very slowly.
Danger.
I'm wondering what's got piped in that's so hot. Something must have done. Anyway, right, that is enough for this episode. So, I hope you have enjoyed this one, and you can start to see our next big project shaping up. There's clearly quite a lot of work to do on that rocket. I think it's going to be at least one more episode to finish the build, probably with another episode after that to do the automation, unless I go for some marathon length even for me, and I'm not going to do that to you. So I hope you're enjoying these. If you are, I'd love it if you would subscribe. I am still trying to recover the audio for episode 39, but I don't think it's going to be possible. It seems like the file's corrupted. It's sort of, I can hear some weird muffled noises, but it was working and now it's not, so I'm not quite sure what's happened to it, but it's not right, it's not playing properly, so I will continue working on that. In the meantime, hopefully those problems are solved and you have enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to seeing some comments from you on the videos. So thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.